Washington's trade war with Beijing has hit a fever pitch. The Treasury Department has labeled China a currency manipulator as the country's central bank let the yuan depreciate. China's Commerce Ministry also announced it stopped buying American farm products. All of this is retaliation gone wild. Let's bring in Riley Walters, a heritage policy analyst in Asian economy and technology studies. And Riley, this really has blown up the stock market. This trade war seems to be never ending. And now the concern is that there's not going to be a deal. There's going to be no deal, not even a bad deal, just no deal with the Chinese. What do you say?
Well, you know, the tariffs from last week, the announcement yesterday that China is a currency manipulator, these things don't exactly bode well for the trade talks. So it really brings in the question of whether we can get a deal at all before the next presidential election. You know, I'm going to go out, I'm going to say I'm an optimist. I think we could still get a deal done. It's just, it makes talks that much harder. But I think at the end of the day, the president still wants a deal. I think China wants to return to some sort of stability in U.S. China economic relations. And so they're going to try and want a deal too. But again, all these issues make it just that much harder to get there.
Well, you know, it's interesting because, you know, the president keeps saying, and this is a kind of a loaded question, I'm sorry, but the president keeps saying that tariffs don't hurt the U.S. And Peter Navarro was on with Lou Dobbs last night. Tariffs don't hurt the U.S. But there was a lot of evidence out there, including a very long note from Goldman Sachs that says that indeed we are starting to see the effects on the U.S. economy of these tariffs. And the Federal Reserve already cut rates. We know that they're thinking about it. And this seems to be kind of lost at the White House right now. Is there some strategy that we're not thinking about here? There's some secret strategy that's in play?
You know, I don't know if there's really this grand strategy out there. Folks like Navarro, you know, they really put more of an emphasis on U.S. exports, right? So they don't really care about the consumers as much as they do, for example, manufacturing exports. But if you look at the numbers, you know, even if China is devaluing its currency, you know, we are still paying $5 billion a month to the U.S. Treasury for buying imports. I mean, they are collecting taxes from Americans, and the data's clear about that.
Okay, so I do want to read an American Farm Bureau Federation statement. I think this really hits home for so many Americans that are watching throughout the country right now. And this is what they say. China's announcement that it will not buy any ag products from the United States is a body blow to thousands of farmers and ranchers who are already struggling to get by. A prolonged trade war hurts the American farmer, Riley.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one blow after another. You know, certainty, I think, for U.S. farmers is almost dead. And so trying to find alternative markets that are profitable is difficult. And, you know, they just can't continue to rely on U.S. bailout anymore.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen. You've got Air China canceling flights and maybe September talks between the two countries, but I think it's all really up in the air. Riley, thanks so much for this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.